We'll continue with our discussion of poetry, and today we will be discussing the critical analysis of the poem Thoughts in a Garden, written by Andrew Marvell. We already had an introduction of this poem. Andrew Marvell, we all know, was a metaphysical poet, and a famous statement about him calls him an ardent Republican. He always believed in democratic set of principles. He was an ardent Republican, a political controversialist, and a champion of religious tolerance. So three words, three phrases actually describe him: an ardent Republican, a political controversialist, and a champion of religious tolerance. As we move into the poem, The Garden, the short title is The Garden, while the complete title is Thoughts in a Garden. The garden is divided into 9 numbered stanzas. How many stanzas are there in this poem? 9. Altogether 9. Each of which contains 4 rhymed couplets of iambic pentameter. So this poem is written somewhat in classical tradition because it contains a good rhyming pattern, and he is using iambic pentameter for the musical arrangement of this poem. Its subject matter is the tranquility of retirement from public life. The tranquility, the peace which is enjoyed by a person after his retirement. So the idea is tranquility of retirement from public life, from the busy life, from the routine life, from the everyday life. Most critics associate the poem's content with Marvell's own retirement from his position. So he himself retired from public life, and then he wrote this poem. And what was the occupation of Andrew Marvell? So here we come to know his position as tutor to Mary Fairfax. So he was a personal tutor to a girl named Mary Fairfax. Mary Fairfax, whose father, Thomas Fairfax, was a general in Oliver Cromwell's army during the English Civil War. So she was the daughter of a military personnel, or we can say a general, when Oliver Cromwell became the director of England. And this man, Thomas Fairfax, was related to him because he was a general in his army, and Mary Fairfax was the daughter of Thomas Fairfax. And Andrew Marvell tutored her. In the first stanza, the speaker mentions 3 forms of public virtue associated with the emblem of a particular plant's leaves. 3 forms of public virtue associated: the palm for military virtue, the oak for civic virtue, and the bay or laurel for poetic virtues. So 3 kind of virtues associated with plants. The first one is palm for military virtue, oak for civic virtue, and the bay or laurel for poetic virtue. However, these symbols also suggest the limitations of the pursuits they signify, since the wreaths are only made of trimmings from the actual plants. Public life and devotion to virtue must come to an end one day. So, the idea goes on: public life and devotion to virtue must come to an end one day. So, human life would come to an end one day. The speaker suggests that just as flowers and trees do close to weave the garland of repose. Quoted words from the poem itself. Do close to weave the garland of repose. So must individuals retreat from social obligation into retired contemplation. So moving ahead in life, so individuals, they retreat from social obligation into retired contemplation. So social obligation goes and contemplation comes. The speaker goes on to praise the solitude and quiet of his retreat into the garden. He is solitary, he is lonely. He is lonely by his own choice. And he is inside a garden, believing that he was mistaken to have once sought fair quiet and innocence among the busy companies of men. All these examples are quoted from the poem itself. He also associates his private retreat with a holy experience, stating that sacred plants of quiet and innocence can only grow amongst the organic plants in the garden. So he also associates his private retreat with a holy experience, religious experience, stating that the sacred plants of quiet and innocence can only grow amongst the organic plants in the garden. In other words, the material surrounding of the garden makes room in the speaker's heart and mind for the cultivation of spiritual values. Andrew Marvell always emphasized on spiritualism rather than focusing on religion. He considered religion to be secondary and spiritualism to be the primary virtue. He always advocated spirituality over religion. Cultivation of spiritual values, which life in society has forced him to disregard. So, disregarding the spiritual way of life is done by force applied by the society upon an individual. So, we will finish off here and we will continue discussing critical analysis of thoughts in a garden in our next video. This brings us end to the part first of the video. Thanks for watching.